and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Chronicles. This is your host, proud lame, certified beta male, simran giant, whatever it is, no game. The socially awkward nerd, Christian Paul, speaking at your service. This following episode contains graphic content that could be uncomfortable to some viewers, that could be like disheartening, not safe for work, that type of ordeal. It could offend some viewers in some way without any intent at all. It could be strong language. It could be basically strong graphic scenes, however it may be. There will be an E that's actually placed onto the top label up on the YouTube set, and it can basically require either viewers for either minimum 13 up, or in some cases, depending on YouTube's policy, it could be 18 up or however it may be. Please take notice before we get on with the presentation. Alright, viewer discretion advised. Now let's get back to the video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Chronicles. Alright, this is your host, right? Proud lame, certified beta male, simran giant, whatever it is, no game. The socially awkward nerd, Christian Paul, is up in the building. Alright, and we are back with another episode of The Gunning of Andrew Tate. And I am telling you right now, these prosecutors are literally going gung-ho on taking this guy down. And you know what's happening with all the self-systems going on with Andrew Tate? It's not even happening whatsoever. It's making his case worse, so much so that he's literally going to be embedded himself. He's literally going to be facing his own demons when God knows what happens when that trial comes through up in Romania. Right? So, we are going to dig into how Andrew Tate literally got started with his webcam go business that he had all branded up, which made him the person that he is today with all the lavish lifestyle he has, Top G, Hustlers University 2.0, all like the guest stuff that he has been towards social media, Fresh and Fit, Valuetainment, you know what I mean? What else we got? There's like other guests that he's been on. He's been on, I know there's like this dude's name as well. I keep forgetting his name. I know there's like others. Aiden Ross has been up on there, right? There's also Hassan Abi as well. He's been up in there also. Most notably, he's been up in Fox News as well, right? Up in the mainstream, doing his own thing. Vice also, they got like a special on him coming out sometime this week. If I'm not mistaken, they're coming out literally tonight. At the time this recording is January 12th, which is actually the Andrew Tate special on cover is actually supposed to be on Vice later on within 4 or 5 hours from now. I see coming up on the time in the Eastern time zone, basically where I'm standing now, where I'm in New York time. So we are gonna dig very deeply into Cookie Moisturizer, and alleged cookie abuser, Mr. Andrew Tate. And again, yes, Andrew Tate has been treating some women fairly and respectfully, but that doesn't mean he doesn't treat women all the way uniformly based on what you're about to hear from him, as well as all the scathing evidence that I actually found from him with all the communicated transfers that you see up on WhatsApp. It is beyond fucking insane. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into this motherfucker and dig in.
First things first.
Sorry for the shutdown, by the way. One second. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Give me one moment. Alright, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right into it.
First things first, when you say webcam company, people assume, oh, it's just a sex fest, and, it's just like you're like Hugh Hefner. when you're in the club with your workers, you look like you have her, but in reality, it's a shitload of people management. The HR department, the HR category of the webcam business is the largest and most important thing. You're effectively taking girls, teaching them how to make unlimited money from home, and then making sure they give it all to you.
Now that's slavery right there. You're not giving them like all the pay fair wages. You're not paying taxes on us as well, which also can get you for a tax evasion based on what you're actually stating, Mr. Andrew Cobra Tate, the top G, right? So you're basically discussing more of slavery, potential human trafficking, depending on the legalities, as well as tax evasion, basically making sure that all the money actually goes to you, but you don't give the webcam girls your fair share of their dime when they're making those videos for you. But let's continue.
So it's not an easy task. Now,
That's
there's a lot
it.
to teach here,
Well
so
said.
I'm going to assume you're not morons. There's certain things I'm not going to completely and utterly intricately cover. I'm just going to say, look, work it out, because it's not the most important thing. The most important thing you need to learn in this course is the people management aspect, how you can run this business from a human perspective. It goes everywhere.
And they got people, if you actually hire, if you got some people that actually do run folks and have people's skills, there are folks that do have bachelor's degrees in business management and leadership and MBAs in those topics, in those majors as well, that actually handle that type of business that Andrew's actually running. Just to be more specific, let's actually go deep into what he has to say.
There's one webcam studio down the road called Studio 20 with 100 rooms. 100 rooms, 8-hour shifts, 3 girls a day. That's 300 girls a day working, and they all work on LiveGasm. So if you're going to go on LiveGasm, you're going to be competing with big-time guys. And what you want to be competing with is people at home in their bedrooms. You don't want to be competing with serious businessmen, because I know for a fact, Studio 20, the owner of Studio 20 and the owner of the website itself, LiveGasm, are friends. And they've got some kind of backhander agreement. So all the Studio 20 girls appear high on the web page. They appear at the top of the page. Obviously, if you're going to go on there, you don't want to scroll down 10 pages to find a girl. You're going to go to the girls in the first row. All his girls appear high up because he's giving the guy a backhand. There's all this shady business. It's a huge competition. I've told very shortly my story, how I kind of started my whole webcam business. I'll tell it again in detail here. I was fighting, had some money. I had $70,000.
Yeah, $70,000 when Andrew Tate retired, and then he blew off around a little more than half, about 30 grand. From what I heard, he basically blew off 30 grand off of gambling, off of nonsense. So basically 3/7 of that money he actually blew off, and he got 4/7 of it remaining.
£1,000 in a safe in my hand. I needed 80,000. I was 10 grand short, and I thought I'd go to the casino and make the 10.
Stupid.
Obviously, we all know how that story
Stupid.
went. So I lost 30, so now I need 40.
There we go. And now you're trying to learn business that way when you're actually trying to gamble all your debts and putting all your faith in the fucking lottery.
I needed it quickly. So I was sitting there trying to find a way to make money. So how can I make money? And what I did was, I said to Tristan, I'm literally not leaving my room until I have a way for us to make more money. Because I can only fight so many times per year, and I know their income. So I got a pen and paper, and I was on YouTube, like researching, how people make money, what millionaires.
This is prior to the UFC literally blowing up at the time. Actually, no, this is 2015, 20. Yeah, UFC is so hot. I don't know why you can't even go to UFC and make the money, but to each his own.
And they kept talking about assets. And I was sitting there thinking, what assets do I have? I'm trying to buy a property. I mean, I didn't own a property in the UK. Attractive females are absolutely an asset. And if you disagree with me, walk in the club with 10 blondes, and you'll see who the most important guy in the club is. Fuck the champagne shows. 10 girls, and there's guys next to me doing champagne shows. Is anyone looking at their table or my table? No one gives a fuck about their table. Pussy is the most important driving force of this planet. Pussy is the only reason that empires were started and wars were waged. It's the only reason all you guys are out there are even interested in having money.
Yeah, because you're trying to be Cookie Moisturizer due to the fact that you're Cookie Moisturizer! You're trying to focus more on yourself and actually trying to focus more on your purpose in life. You know what I mean? Because your eggplants is most literally that heavy that you want to try and get your rocks off and literally explode that way and get all the milk literally all bursted up in there.
If there was no pussy about, you wouldn't care about having money. You'd say, oh, I'll have a little bit of money and I'll just play chess all day. I don't care. I'll play video games. The only reason we want cars and clothes and six packs and houses and shit is for girls. So when I realized that all these
For the low value dudes, that they want those. You know, they don't even totally value themselves. They want those.
assets, I had to find a way to monetize the assets. The skill I'm going to teach you is exactly the same. I could easily translate mine to a street business, and you could easily street pimp with the things I'm going to teach you.
So he's basically, what Andrew Tate is actually basically teaching the general public is basically how to pimp, right? How to be like a hardcore street PIMP. You know what I'm saying? Hardcore street pimping. That's what he's basically doing. He's teaching you how to be a pimp, given this method.
I didn't want no one else fucking my girl. My girls. I want to fuck my girls. I just want to fuck my girls. Who the fuck's playing that? So, long story short, blah, 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 blah. Discovered webcam. And went from there. Flew all 5 girls in at once. Sat them all down. So I've been going out with all of you. Here's the truth. Starting a business, you'll make money or not.
Right.
2 decided to stay. 3 started crying, got back on the plane. Because they're all different places in the world. I had them from when I was fighting. So I went and fought in Slovakia, I've got a girlfriend. Went and fought in France, got a girlfriend. Went and fought, so I had all the girls around the world. So I told them all to fly in, sat them all down together. Like, who the fuck are all these other girls? I was like, okay, truth time. Bang. I'm a G. They're fucking you all.
I'm a G.
I'm going to start a business. You're all going to live here with me. 3 got back on the plane. 2 decided to stay. 2 weeks later, 1 left. And so I was left with 1. But starting with 1 is good. But those 2 weeks, I fucked them together for you. So the way you're going to do that is you have to have some element of influence. And you're going to have that element of influence through her respecting you, looking up to you, and her believing she needs you. And this is
Bruce Rivers, Esquire. Shout out to him, by the way. The criminal lawyer Bruce Rivers gave out like some 3 keys when it comes to potentially being trafficking charges: force, fraud, and coercion. And he is actually going to Andrew Tate here is actually going to snuff sits himself on how this stuff really goes down. So this is actually very, very insane. So we're actually going to get right to it right now.
It's extremely important because at the beginning she will need you, but then she won't need you. But you have to keep that fallacy, keep that dream.
Keyword: fallacy. Right? The definition of fallacy, ladies and gentlemen, is a mistaken belief, especially one based on unsound argument. Right? Failure in reasoning which renders an argument invalid, faulty reason, misleading, or unsound argument. Right? And I can actually go a little bit deeper in this and all this other stuff that they have. Fallacy, translation, manipulation, fraud, deceit, right? That's your key. Misconception, delusion, right? You try to make sure you maintain the delusion going towards the woman that you're getting toward the webcam business, right? Misapprehension, misjudgment, miscalculation, mistaken impression, misinterpretation, misconstruction, error, mistake, lie, untruth, right? Inconsistency, illusion, myth, fantasy, deceit, deception, sophism, sophistry, casuistry, faulty reasoning, unsound argument, fallacy, right there. Homeboy's literally basically teaching all you young bucks to literally deceive women just to get out of business. That's not the way to go, gentlemen. That is not the way to go. And that's going to lead you in the world of hurt. And you wonder why these prosecutors are so hell-bent on trying to jam up Andrew Tate right now. They got all the receipts of him self-snitching. And they're going to try and make sure that him and his brother and them 2 call girls out there serve the vast majority of time up in these shitty-ass Romanian prisons.
Alive, sure that she doesn't do it without you. So this is what screen share is all about. Effectively, this is the way to do it.
That ain't true. When it comes to webcam business, you gotta get like legitimate porn stars who really try to actually want to enjoy everything what they doing, and you give them an offer. But then again, I don't even have experience in the business whatsoever. But fallacy, that shit is so fucking dangerous. I tell you.
This works. The girl sits on the camera. Now, when the girl is on camera, and you would have seen from my promotional video, that was at the height of my webcam empire. The blonde in that video. I'm still with now. You'll see from there how we explain that there's people typing or pretending to be the girl 24 hours a day. So it hasn't got to be 20, but that method is very important for two reasons. First, let me explain how it works. Listen up, motherfuckers. So, the girl is on the webcam. She's sitting here. When a girl is on camera, she has a public room, which people will visit, and they will spend money in and talk shit. Your job, to train the girl, to talk to and interact with that public room as much as possible. So when people come in the room and say, oh, hey, how are you? She's like, they type. The men type, hey, how are you? It comes in the box. She goes, oh, hey, I'm fine, thank you. And she has to make sure her public room is engaging and interesting as much as possible to keep people in the room. Now, while the public can also receive private messages, and all those private messages you are going to reply to. And you're going to reply to them via screen share on a computer in a different room. As long as you're on the same Wi-Fi network, you're having more conversations with men than a girl could ever have on her own. Because she's too busy on her own. She's overwhelmed. She can't talk to all these people. So some guys you have to negotiate with, some guys you have to do a deal with, some guys whatever. You can do all that shit. But even more importantly, it makes the girl believe that she can't do it without it. At the beginning she can, but there'll become a point she can't. But you being here, it synergizes this teamwork energy. We're going to do this together. Yeah, you go on the camera. Don't worry, I'll talk to the guys. I'm going to talk to them. We're a team. Happy, positive teamwork.
Right.
There's no negative energy in this business. You have to be positive. So by you typing for the girl, you maximize your money, and also she believes she needs you, which is extremely important. Later on down the line, I got to the point where I'd hired typers. So I didn't have to type. So I'd hired girls to sit and type and pretend to be the girls. So I had girls online. I had an office full of girls pretending to type. So I had 4 typers, 20 girls online.
Right.
Another reason we use Chaturbate is because they will pay you in Bitcoin. Put in your Bitcoin address and they'll pay you in Bitcoin. And this is amazing because you've all seen the thought audit shit that's going on. You've all seen the fucking legalities of banking. Trying to get money out of these sites into your bank without paying a shitload of tax is actually very difficult.
Know what I mean? Now, when the entertainer is actually discussing, ladies and gentlemen, is tax evasion, right? And you wonder why they got all these potential charges of tax evasion and tax fraud, surely to come whenever these prosecutors really watch basically like they watch content like this and they talk about actually how to actually get paid in Bitcoin. That shit's literally illegal worldwide. It's illegal up in the States. It's illegal worldwide. You're avoiding taxes. Avoiding taxes that's actually paid through banks and through countries. It is a huge, huge issue. Just like with Sam Bankman-Fried. Just like with possibly Cheng Peng Zhao, right? You get too fucking arrogant with your ego and hubris, your ass to go literally down the drain by your own self when you least expect it.
It was going to be about an hour segment of this fucking thing. But we don't need to do that anymore because in the last 6 months, Chaturbate have released the Bitcoin option. So they'll pay you in Bitcoin. So if you're a girl on there working, let's say you generate $3,000-$4,000, bang, you get Bitcoin into your wallet. Done. No fucking tax, no thought audit, none of that shit. And I had a separate phone with all my girls, guys in that phone, and I kept control of it. I would speak to them, and before she went online, I would tell her like any basic information. You don't let your girl have this, because if your girl ever runs off and leaves you, which is going to happen to some of you at least, you don't want her to have an address book of all the guys she can get money from. But what the fuck do I need this dude for? And they will leave if you don't have every aspect under control. Tax.
Force and coercion. Notice, right? When homeboy literally talking about, restricting freedom of choice, right? When you restrict the woman's freedom of choice or limit the woman's freedom of choice or not allow the woman to have the freedom of choice whatsoever, this is when rape and human trafficking unfortunately comes into play, right? And you wonder why the Tate brothers, as well as all the call girls, the modern day Jeffrey Epsteins and Ghislaine Maxwell's of Romania here, are currently facing some very damn serious charges as of now. Let's continue.
This is also another important element for controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anything.
Keyword control, coercion, force. That's a team.
Tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin, so you don't need to pay tax to anybody.
That's not legal advice, by the way.
To tell your girl that you're paying the tax, because girls are lazy, and girls are stupid.
Golly, man. Everybody got their own definition. Everybody unique in their own right. You know, this dude has his own bias and all this stuff, and I discussed on like what Andrew Tate is dealing with the bias when it comes to a woman driving. Y'all can check that out early if you need to. But this stuff, based on his experience and what he's seen, that's like a very, very shallow, short-sighted definition based on the girls that he sees and the girls that he picked, right? Because they are very, very intelligent women out there. They're women that have very high class, and I know they have a lot of the cinnamons out there. The strong, independent, don't need a man. The career come first. All that stuff, I get it. But there are some women that literally have very great character that are actually truly caring and actually want to benefit and actually just help out and like be with like some good partners and just live happily, have married and have kids on 9 yards. There's like women in every genre. There's women literally in every genre, literally worldwide. You just gotta know how to actually peak game, pick up the cues and sniff them right away and see where they are. Take the time to diagnose them.
And girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl,
the them what it don't, within all genders. But you see like a lot of women and a lot of dudes that are actually very intelligent and actually how they run their own stuff and how they're self-sufficient. And that includes paying for their own taxes and actually includes paying for their own money. That's the purpose of being an adult. That's part of being a grown-up. Alright?
Working with you, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we've made this much money, but I'm going to pay the tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll sit there and go, okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One, it's another control element. I work with him.
Coercion.
My tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. So control element allows you to pay her a smaller percentage. So I used to pay my girls 30%. So for every $10,000 they made, I'd give them 3, and I'd keep 7. They thought they were on 50%.
Uh-oh! There we go. Manipulation and fallacy again. Fraud, right? Force and coercion. Get him on the loose, and that's how he's able to keep the stuff going because he wasn't thoroughly honest with him from the beginning. And you wonder why the Tate brothers are in the shithole that they in. And
I said that the disparity is because of taxes. So you're on 50%, but we had to pay the tax.
You're dealing with a fucking narcissist, man. Y'all, is this your fucking alpha guru? This is a Chop G that y'all love to rave about. The fucking Chop G right there. This is your motherfucking Chop G right here. Is this it? I want to know. Is this motherfucker your Top G? Man.
First, and then it's 50-50. If they say, why is it 50-50? Because I'm the one on camera. You say, because I'm the one typing, I'm the one with the property you're working in, I'm the one paying the bills.
But the problem is you're dishonest from the very beginning.
The electricity, I'm the one who's, and the electricity and every other maintenance cost of this property, I'm the one who bought the equipment, I'm the one who knows what he's doing, I'm the one with the knowledge, I'm the da-da-da-da-da-da. Shut the fuck up, go online. You should be pretty happy with that if they respect you as a person overall. So really you're paying 30, you tell them you're paying 50, difference is in the tax.
Yeah, the problem is you don't really know how much the tax actually is unless you make the tax rules up yourself. Unless you actually talk with a lawyer and their respective lawyers and like what the agreements basically pay up. And this is where litigation attorneys mainly come in when you try to make these types of deals and make sure they get this stuff done in handwriting. I have a mother who's a litigation attorney for literally 36 years. So she knows like litigation when it comes to business works and who gets paid, who doesn't get paid. No, she can see this stuff literally from a mile away. No, she's not stupid.
Charity lies, taxes. If they don't believe you or they want to get fresh or whatever, print out some tax forms. I used to do this all the time. I used to print out some random tax forms and say, yeah, sign here and sign this. What is it? It's for the tax. You want to pay the tax or not? Okay, and they just sign away. They don't know what they're fucking signing. I throw them away afterwards. But they think something's happening.
They're picking the weird character of woman right there. They are picking the weird ass character of woman that they get.
Nothing real's happening. Nothing's happening besides me getting rich page. Anyway, so tax is another important element to keep control of the girl. You have to fuck the girls. You cannot do a business relationship with a female. And I'll tell you why. Women have sex with somebody. If they're not fucking you, they're fucking somebody else. Now, a woman is always going to be the most loyal to the guy she's fucking. as opposed to anyone else for any other reason. If you have a girl work for you and you say, look, we're going to be business partners, we're going to make money, here's your cut, here's my cut, we're going to work together, blah, 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 blah. Here's the fucking, I've had dudes, I've known loads of guys who like, try to do a contract with a girl, try to sit there and talk common sense to a girl. When's the last time talking common sense to a girl has ever worked? Ever. If you're not fucking the girl, she is fucking someone else. And that other person she's fucking is going to have.
Yeah, you know, but if you're interested, fine, it could be the case. Is don't have a really working team. But if you're not interested in a woman like that and you still really want to actually do business with them and do like one of those client, you know, can basically client worker relationship, that type of work, dude, when you actually making business and doing money and all that stuff, you know, that's fine. And then raw that because you're being acquaintances. That's basically what an acquaintance is. You know, you don't really have that much of a personal attraction like that unless you actually get hot and heavy behind the scenes, or actually things can get a little awry when it comes to work spousing. I've discussed that earlier as well. But saying that you can't work with women, they can't be your business partners, that's just like nonchalant, shallow. You know, that's just extreme naivety. That is just extreme ignorance. In my opinion, it's extreme ignorance, because I've actually been working with women, basically doing business with them from time to time, actually been classmates with them the whole 9 yards. Literally, some of them are literally as intellectual as me. Okay? That can be done, right? You know what I mean? As long as you actually set boundaries, as long as you set expectations of what really goes on, that's really all that matters. But his stuff on, like, doing winning business partners, that's his personal opinion. But in my opinion, that's just fucking nonsense. I would just, like, steer clear from that altogether. But that's just me, right? So.
The control over her mind, as opposed to you. And if he controls her mind and you don't control her mind, once she starts to pick it up a bit, after a few weeks, a few months, whatever, and realizes how to make money on her own, is she going to stay and keep paying you, or is she going to run off and pay her boyfriend, or them two are going to go traveling in Southeast Asia and she's going to work as she goes, or she's going to go to her boyfriend and say, look, fuck it, you type for me. What you actually turn these things into is Bitcoin. So effectively what a webcam company is doing is mining Bitcoin. But instead of mining Bitcoin the traditional way with huge electricity expenses and massively expensive equipment and space and cooling and all that bullshit, you mine Bitcoin with some pussy and titties, as opposed to you. And if he controls her mind and you don't control her mind, once she starts to pick it up a bit after a few weeks, a few months, whatever, and realizes how to make money on her own, is she going to stay and keep paying you, or is she going to run off and pay her boyfriend, or them two are going to go traveling in Southeast Asia and she's going to work as she goes, or she's going to go to her boyfriend and say, look, fuck it, you type for me. What you actually turn these things into is Bitcoin. So effectively what a webcam company is mining Bitcoin. But instead of mining Bitcoin the traditional way with huge electricity expenses and massively expensive equipment and space and cooling and all that bullshit, you mine Bitcoin with some pussy and titties. Oh yeah, but you're always working. I have to do some traveling and you can't come. I want to bring you with me. Traveling's a great one, because the thing about this business is mobile. If you can find a good Airbnb with good internet, you can run it somewhere else. So it's a good little caveat to throw in. Oh, and you're always working. Why don't you work for me so we spend more time together? Work for you doing what? So I'll have a webcam business. Oh, I don't want to do that. So okay, I know you don't want to do that, but listen. Come, let's have a meeting. Let's just talk about it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Fine. But let me explain it to you properly. In fact, I'll bring one of the girls who works for me. You, the bottom bitch, the new girl, you go out for fucking a nice
boom! Boom! The bottom bitches that I'm referring to, you got two bottom bitches that are just arrested now. One of them is a police officer, the other one that actually worked with Tate. They're currently being housed in the detention center as well. I forgot the other two names, but I think they were actually posted up in the previous video that I done did. But those are the bottom bitches that work with the Tate brothers for bringing the woman along in the webcam business. And it's how he actually elevated the plan to what he is now. Man.
The one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear from the girl.
Manipulation.
This is where your bottom bitch has to be trained. That's why I said it's so important to have a good first girl.
Alright, so now we look at the thoughts here. This was in the past how he ran the business. He does not admit to any form of physical force. However, he admits to being a master manipulator. He clearly admits to tax evasion. There we go. 100% illegal, morally wrong. You decide. According to criminal lawyer Bruce Rivers, which we're actually going to dig into him in the next video, reviewing this whole deal. YouTube, if you don't know him, this is all solid foundation for a legal case against him, in particular for the trafficking charges plus potential tax charges. My fucking goodness. So this motherfucker right here, this fuckface right here, is this your alpha guru? Okay, is this your motherfucking top G? Alright, I get it, you know, with relationships, you know, you like men leading, woman following, I can understand, like, from some people's point of view, but this is all the way to the fucking extreme, right? Is this your motherfucking alpha guru? You know, I'm gonna let y'all think about it. I got another video cooking with Bruce Rivers literally coming up in a bit. Be on the juicy.